Now, on Monday's programme, the subject of plectrums, well, it's actually in the confession, it was referred to as plectra, which you don't often hear used as a word, so it sounded a little bit cumbersome, though it may well have been just the way I read it. So I was wondering whether plectrums would have been better as the plural, and if you're going to talk about this kind of thing, there is only one person that you need to have on, and that is Dr. Peter Jones, MBE, classical scholar and co-founder of Friends of Classics. Hello, Dr. Peter.
Good afternoon to you, Simon.
Thank you very much indeed for speaking to us. So when this tale came up, it was based in a music shop. Plectra was the plural that was used. Is that correct?
That is entirely correct if you are an ancient Greek. But we're talking about conventions here,
Yes.
and we are English.
Yes.
And you know, if you wish to follow the Greek plural of plectra, that's absolutely fine by me, but we're English after all, and we can take a Greek word, a Latin word, and do whatever we like with it. And if we want to call it plectrums, well, I can't say you're wrong. It's just a convention. It's the way we do it.
Right. And if you, as a classical scholar, went to buy a number of a number of these plastic things, what would you ask for?
Oh, I'd certainly ask for plectra, and if they looked baffled, I might go into a brief half-hour explanation, and then say, well, actually, I mean plectrums.
I wonder if this comes up occasionally with words like referendum, and there was a big conversation as to whether it should be referenda or referendums.
Yep.
Sometimes because these words sound clumsy.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. This again is precisely the problem. Referendum, plectrum, in fact, is an ancient Greek word. Referendum's a Latin word. It's the same sort of word as referendum, agendum. We talk of agenda. Referendum, referenda. Some people, you see, agenda is the plural, but some people say, I have lots of interesting agendas. So they're making a plural out of a plural. Medium gives us the plural media, and that's a plural. Sometimes people talk about the plural as if it's media, if it's single. But in fact it's plural.
So it should be the media are, not the media is.
Yeah, it should technically be
but
the media are.
That sounds odd, doesn't it?
You know, that's the way we do it in English is media is. It's like this wonderful, use of something convention that drives me absolutely nuts. Is you might say, for example, Charlotte, Toby, and Helena. Will you go with me to the park? You wouldn't say, would you go with I to the park?
No.
But if you say, Charlotte, Toby, and Helena, will you come with Grandma and me to the park? Most people say with Grandma and I to the park. But if it's with me, it's not with I. Now, that is ungrammatical and ignorant, and me wouldn't say it.
No, ignorant. So would they be an ignoramus?
An ignoramus, right, okay, very good word. Now, ignoramus looks like one of those Latin words ending in us,
yes,
with a plural in E. It looks just like an alumnus. Now, if you're an alumnus, a graduate of university, we talk about our alumni are very generous to us. And we think, well, it must be ignorami. But the Latin word ignoramus, in fact, is the Latin for we are ignorant. So how do you make a plural out of we are ignorant, given it's a plural anyway? Now, you've got to do what you like. If you want to say, gosh, Charlotte, Toby, and Helena are ignorami, aren't they? That's the way we do it in English. You could say ignoramuses, but that sounds a terrible mouthful, doesn't it?
Yes. But there are quite a few, I mean, where if you're going to be correct, you're going to sound pretentious.
Well, if you're going to do what the Greeks and Romans do, you're going to sound pretentious. Well, as I say, we aren't Greeks and Romans. We speak English. And we should do what we want to do. That's the way convention works. It's like this word with me or with I. That's the way English goes. But I think it's jolly interesting knowing what the Greek and Latin plurals are.
Yes.
Simply for, linguistic reasons. I mean, take a word like octopus. Now, that sounds like a Latin word in us. So you think, well, it's octopi. That must be like alumni. No, it ain't. It's a Greek word, and octo means 8, and the pous bit means a foot. And the plural of pous in Greek is podes. So if you want to be Greek, you wouldn't call octopi. You call it octopodes.
Octopodes?
That's right, yeah. And you might say octopods would be the closest you could get. But again, if you said, how many octopods gods can you see? It does sound a bit
right.
strange, I must admit, but I would much prefer octopuses to octopi, because octopi is just completely misunderstanding the word entirely.
So we're learning a lot, so I'm going to change the music here to the Joe 90 music. So octopuses is actually what you, as the classical scholar, would prefer?
That is what I would say, yes, indeed, yes.
Now, so final point then,
Yep.
Peter. Are there some rules then that we, if we do want to get it right, are there some rules that we need to remember, in which case we can apply the Dr. Peter Jones rules and we're going to be close or close enough?
Well, I would say, I'll give you one. If you want to follow the Latin, the Greek way of doing things, any word ending in should have a plural in a, like agenda, propaganda, referenda, data, media, and all that, plectra and criteria. If you follow that rule, then I think you'll get it right as far as Latin is concerned. But there are lots of words. Take a word like omnibus. That again ends in us. The plural is an omnibi. It's omnibuses. There's a Latin word that means for everyone. How can you have a plural of for everyone? That's what omnibus means.
Well, we're learning at the feet of the master, and we appreciate your time, Peter Jones. Thank you very much indeed.
That's great fun. Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you. Dr. Peter Jones, MBE, classical scholar, co-founder of Friends of Classics. A rule for you to remember.